This is Hannah and Cailin, back again with Double Talk. I'm Hannah. And I'm Cailin. And we're here at Village East in New York City for the 2023 Tribeca Film Festival premiere of the documentary, The League.
Baseball is known as America's pastime, but for many years, non-white people were socially and professionally excluded. Director Sam Pollard and executive producer Ahmir Questlove Thompson shed light on that history with The League, revealing how the dynamic style of black baseball players came to define the way the game is played today. With the eye of a historian, Pollard delves into how black professionals formed Negro League baseball, building a unique sporting culture and community of their own.
Tell me about how the Negro League set the stage for really some of the greatest athletes in the history of the sport.
Well, you look at it this way. The greatest athletes you see right now, like LeBron or Steph Curry or somebody like that, had nowhere to go as a professional athlete. They would have played baseball. That's the type of athlete that was in the Negro Leagues. And you take Jackie Robinson, for example. He was an All-American in football, basketball, track, and baseball at UCLA. And so here you come years later, his fourth sport was baseball, and he ended up breaking the color barrier playing baseball. So I think from an athletic standpoint, he has some of the greatest athletes ever.
In the early 20th century, a gentleman named Rube Foster understood that black baseball players were playing a game that was pretty phenomenal. Knew how to run the bases, knew how to hit the balls, and so he created the Negro National League. And you know, you can see the legacy of that league when you've had people like Willie Mays and Hank Aaron, Ernie Banks and Monty Irvin. You know, all of these men came out of the Negro Leagues, and Satchel Paige even came out of the Negro League. So this was a story that I felt was really important to tell, that the whole team here felt was important to tell, and we all collaborated on to make sure that people know that, you know, when you think of baseball, most people think of Major League Baseball, but there was a Negro League that was very, very important in sort of setting the table for some of the great Major League Baseball players.
Even for people who are familiar with the league and the impact they've had on the sport, what do you hope they learn after coming to the theater tonight and seeing the film?
The film has so many important messages. I mean, it's the inception and the history and the rise of the Negro League that, you know, over the years it was amazing because the black community created their own league, which is incredible because they didn't have the opportunities, and it gave opportunities for a lot of the black players to do what they love, and eventually paved the way to join and integrate with the Major Baseball League, which was amazing for progress for the community, but also had some negative impacts. So it's just sort of shining a light on what has happened and what the players had to endure while they were playing, and looking at the parallels now and how much has changed and for the good, for progress, but also how much still needs to change and how much progress we still have to make.
I think they'll walk away, you always look at these, you hear the names, Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, all them. It's almost like mythical characters.
Yeah, it's true, that's true.
And now you get a chance to see them swing the bat, throw a pitch, those type of things. So I think that they'll walk away with that. And then I think the biggest theme of the whole movie is the impact that the Negro Leagues had on America and on their communities. You know, it was the third economic crunch in the whole country at the time. So they were kicking out funds, they were providing jobs, all these things happened in the league.
You don't have to be a baseball fan to really get into this film. I think you'll learn that, you know, that a lot of these Major League, Negro League owners were people who were very tenacious and wanted to make sure that their teams won games. And the other thing you learn is you learn about a wonderful woman named Ethel Manley, who was one of the first, you know, women to own a team, you know, and how fantastic she was. And you learn about the complex relationship people like Branch Rickey from the Major Leagues had with someone like Ethel Manley. These are stories you hadn't heard before about the Negro League, which I think are fantastic.